Museums have a mission to depict history, and the Douglas County Museum in Waterville puts that town's history front and center. The exterior wall of the museum has long been home to a mural by Manson artist Ron McGowie, depicting the tram line that was used to haul wheat and other goods up and down between the Waterville Plateau and the Columbia River. But time took its toll on the mural, and recently I visited Waterville to meet the artist who was hired to re-envision it, Coulee City painter Don Nutt.
I'm Don Nutt. I'm a professional artist from Coulee City, Washington. The majority of what I do would be local landscapes. I grew up here. Well, I grew up in Coulee City, and so I'm inspired by, the whole Big Bend country, the Waterville Plateau, the basin. It's all very inspiring to me. But I'm also inspired by historical work as well. Very much a student of history. They wanted to replace this mural. It had been here for 30 years, was starting to get a little deteriorated. So rather than just repaint what was there, I wanted to do my own interpretation of it. This is the old wheat tram, 1902 to 1910, I believe, that carried wheat down to the Columbia River where they would load steamships. And that was the best, or really the only way to get their crops to market at that time.
It is a huge part of our history. It really is. Only 8 years, they built it in 1902 in the warm months, and then come fall it was ready to run, and it ran 9,000 foot of cable down that 1,700 foot drop from here down to the Columbia River. And we have pictures of huge stacks of wheat sacks laying on the dock down there and laying on the operational house up here, and it was able to move 600-pound bags of wheat in one of those little buckets laying there beside the building, and a few boys. they like to take a circus ride down to the bottom and come back after fishing. But the hardware goods, the coal, lumber, the building supplies were able to come up here. Getting here was very difficult. The one road down to Orondo had a 22% grade, and they called it Dead Horse Hill for a reason. And there just wasn't a good way in and out because of the way that this whole plateau sits on a rock base.
I did a preliminary painting. We gridded everything out. Working on something that's large like this, you wind up having to do quite a bit of that to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to look. As far as the painting, we worked on it 10 days for the most part. I think today is day 12. I did have an assistant on this project, Emma Buchanan, and she worked out really well. So I'm hoping she'll start doing murals on her own now. I went out and took photos on site for this project, but we had to use a little artistic license on it. From where this view is, I don't believe you can actually see the Columbia at that point. So we wanted all the elements in there. We had to fudge a little bit, but we also want it to be historically accurate as possible too. Someone asked me the other day how many murals I've done, and I've never really thought about it. I've never considered myself any kind of a muralist, but after thinking about it, I started counting up some of the ones I could remember, and I quit counting at 50. And so I've been telling everybody since then I'm a very experienced non-muralist.